Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack some fascinating source material just for you.
Yeah, and today we're going way back. We've got excerpts from the Rig Veda. I mean, these are seriously ancient texts.
Some of the oldest we have, really. And they're not just, dusty old poems.
Not at all. Think of them more like direct messages, prayers,
Yeah.
hymns, basically windows into the lives of people from thousands of years ago.
Right, you get their concerns, their beliefs, what their day-to-day might have felt like, and crucially, how they saw the divine.
It's all there in their descriptions and their direct appeals to these, well, divine forces.
So our mission today is pretty clear. What can we pull out from these hymns? Like, who are they actually praying to?
And what were they asking for? What does that tell us about their world?
Exactly. And, what was that relationship like between them and the divine?
Let's dig in. Okay, so first things first. When you read these hymns, what really jumps out about their prayers? What were the big concerns? Well, the practicality is striking, really. I mean, yes, there's talk of sin, things like that, but overwhelmingly,
It's about immediate needs.
totally immediate needs and dangers. You see these really urgent pleas for protection.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like, asking Varuna to remove all dangers, sure, but then also specific stuff like scatter. The men who hate us.
Exactly. And protection from wolf or robber. These aren't abstract fears, are they? They're grounded physical threats.
Very real-world stuff.
And that theme just keeps going. The Visvadevas, the all gods, they're asked to remove my sin. Okay, but right after that, it's remove ye utterly all those who hate us.
Wow, direct.
Yeah. And that cry to save us from the pit and falling, you can almost picture the landscape, the potential hazards, safety, security, top of the list.
And running right alongside that, prosperity seems huge, too.
Whoa, absolutely. They're not shy about asking for well-ordered riches.
And specifically avoiding destitution.
Huh.
You get a real sense that making ends meet was, well, a constant challenge.
For sure. And then there's family. That's central.
The request for children.
Very explicit. Like asking Indra for gain of children or invoking Snavali, calling her the prolific mother of many sons, asking her straight up to grant us progeny.
Securing that next generation was clearly vital.
And they wanted personal strength, too. Health, long life. Asking Rudra for most saving medicines.
And hoping to reach 100 winters, a long life was a big ask.
Definitely. And it even extends to, like, social success, winning prizes, getting glory, being respected in the assembly.
Even down to fertile land, right? Asking earth for thrice-fold food.
Exactly. So these hymns, they aren't abstract philosophy. They're direct, urgent appeals for help, for survival, for flourishing, in what seems like a pretty tough world.
That focus on the tangible is really something. Okay, so these practical prayers, they were aimed at a whole range of divine beings, it seems. A complex pantheon.
Oh, incredibly diverse, yeah. And who they prayed to and how they described them tells us so much about how they understood the forces shaping their world.
So who are some of the key players?
Well, you've got Varuna. He's often linked to cosmic law, these fixed statues, solid like a mountain, you know?
Yeah, the one you asked to sort of move your sins away.
Exactly. But he's also, sometimes with Mitra, this upholder of the law, someone who might even, keep you in line, suggests a real sense of divine order and accountability.
Okay, and then there's Indra. He seems like pure power.
Oh, yeah. Indra's the warrior god, the slayer of cosmic baddies like Ahi and Veshra. He controls rivers, wields the thunderbolt.
The go-to guy for strength. And cattle children.
Definitely. But interestingly, he's also called the friend of all mankind, which adds this, relatable layer to all that immense power.
And Savitar. He sounded different again.
Savitar's fascinating. The life giver, the one who quickens, linked to dawn, light. He sets everything going or brings it to rest.
According to his high law.
Yeah, and the text stresses that no one breaks this law, not even mighty Indra or Varuna. He seems to represent this underlying, inescapable rhythm or order to the universe. Controls water, wind, gives out treasure.
A sort of cosmic director.
Kind of, yeah. Then you have the Maruts. They sound intense.
Resistless might. Terrible like wild beast, gleaming like flames. Yeah, intense is the word.
Exactly, associated with storms, rain, making things shake, but they also have never-failing riches and help people who worship them.
And they're called sons of Rudra.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's that weird bit about milking Prisni's udder.
Yeah, it hints at deeper connections, maybe older myths within this whole system. It's complex.
And speaking of Rudra,
Yeah.
he sounds like a handful.
He really does. A figure of contradictions, father of the Maruts, fierce, dread weapons, great wrath.
But also the healer, best of all physicians.
Right. Offering saving medicines. The descriptions are so vivid, tawny, fair-checked, gold ornaments, but also like a fierce beast. Yet he can be gracious, too.
So, embodying both destruction and healing. You'd approach him carefully, maybe.
You'd think so. Respect, maybe a little fear. Then there's the Son of Waters.
Often identified with Agni, the fire god.
Yeah, but described it as shining in the waters. Brilliant, law-abiding. A source of life plants are born from him and wealth. Seeing fire, or this fiery being, in water. It's a powerful image.
Suggests the divine pops up in unexpected places.
Exactly, and we absolutely have to mention the Asvins.
Oh, the divine twins. With that incredible list of similes.
Incredible is right. They're asked to come like, well, everything. Pressstones, misers, heroes, goats, married couples, horns, hooves, birds, wheels, yokes, dogs, crutches, wind, rivers.
Eyes, hands, feet, lips, breasts, nostrils, ears. It just keeps going.
It's amazing. What it does, I think, is connect them to absolutely every part of human life and experience. Aid, support the senses. It grounds the divine in the most ordinary, everyday things.
Wow, yeah, that really brings it home. It's not just distant power. It's as close as your own hands.
Precisely. And there are others, too, more specialized ones like Soma, the drink that gives strength, Pusan for riches, Raka for sowing in children, Sinavali for progeny.
So it's like they had a specific deity mapped to almost every major need or aspect of life. Okay, so we have these very practical needs, this really diverse, colorful pantheon. How did people actually connect with them? What was the relationship like? What did they do?
Right, the ritual connection. And the hymns are very clear. This wasn't passive. People actively work to get the god's attention and hopefully their favor.
Through prayers and hymns, obviously, but also offerings.
Yes, prayers, hymns, songs, oblations, gifts, and sacrifice. Those are the main ways mentioned.
The Soma rituals seem pretty prominent. Pressing it, drinking it from special cups, different priests involved. Sounds quite formalized.
It does. And the act of sacrifice, it wasn't just symbolic, it seems. The goal was explicitly to make the gods fain taste the gift we bring, to entice them, essentially.
To win their favor.
Exactly. There's a very strong sense of reciprocity here.
Reciprocity. Like a transaction almost.
You could almost see it that way, yeah. The understanding seems to be humans do their part, the worship, the offerings, the hymns mention him who offers gifts.
And in return.
In return, the gods are expected to deliver protection, wealth, health, kids, whatever was asked for. The hymns themselves are part of that bargain, a way to win that Rudra's favor, or make sure the Son of Waters accepts your songs with favor.
So it's a dynamic relationship, an active seeking of blessings through specific actions and appeals.
Precisely. A constant interaction based on need and offering.
So we've done this deep dive,
Right.
looked at these ancient prayers, their practical worries, this vivid cast of divine characters, the rituals. What does all this mean for you listening today?
That's a great question. I mean, think about those fundamental human desires we saw. Safety, health, family well-being, prosperity.
They haven't really changed much, have they?
Not fundamentally, no. Despite thousands of years and all our technology, those core concerns are still driving people everywhere, often underpinning their search for meaning or connection.
It really grounds you, thinking about that continuity. And what about how they saw the divine? Not just one abstract force, but this whole crowd of beings with distinct jobs, personalities, even contradictions like Rudra.
Yeah, that complexity. How does that multifaceted view stack up against how you might perceive, the big forces in your own life or the world? Is it one thing, many things, something else?
It's food for thought. And those Asvin similes again, using everyday stuff, chariot wheels, ears, hands, to describe the divine role.
Such a powerful way to use metaphor, isn't it? Making the vast and abstract totally relatable, grounding it in direct experience. Do we still do that? Can you think of modern metaphors we use to try and grasp big, complex ideas, spiritual, scientific, whatever?
So we've journeyed back through these ancient hymns. We've seen their world, their worries, from wolves to wealth. We've met this incredible pantheon, fiery gods in water, complex healers, helpful twins.
And we've seen how vital that ritual connection was, that sense of give and take with the divine. It paints this picture of a world where the sacred wasn't separate. It was woven right into the fabric of everyday life.
We asked what they prayed for, who they prayed to, and how they did it.
And maybe here's the really interesting takeaway. If these ancient people saw the divine spark reflected in so many ordinary things, in nature, in human actions, in their own bodies.
The sun, storms, a helping hand, just being able to hear.
Right. What might you notice if you started looking at the world around you that way? Looking for that touch of the extraordinary hidden in the everyday details we usually just, well, overlook.
Which raises that final question. What seemingly ordinary details in your own life might actually be holding something profound, something you're missing?